We heard yesterday about Denise's award-winning weekend, her medal-winning weekend.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Wow,
oh,
she's
yes.
like Zola Budd.
Yeah, the Paula Radcliffe of the panel.
Isn't she just? So, Carl, you've got a lot to live up to. How was your weekend? Anything award-winning?
Absolutely.
Really?
Can I just start off by saying I stayed up Saturday night till 6 in the morning.
Blimey. Were you unwell?
I was out and drinking and everything.
Drinking?
Yes. Well, what happened was I went to see Peter Kay at the MEN.
Oh, I bet that was good.
Absolutely brilliant. And more importantly, his support, who's Rick Astley, who, you know, everyone goes, oh, Rick Astley.
I love Rick Astley.
He was absolutely brilliant, and he stormed it, and
Great
he
voice.
looks and singing better than ever. And, of course, my other half is playing guitar in his band, so that's why I was there, yes. Bless him.
Ray and Rick.
Did you know Rick Astley and I covered the same song, Crimea River? Oh, yes.
I can't believe you still admit to that. Anyway, and then we went out afterwards, and it was brilliant. I had the best
Where'd you
night.
go?
Well, we went down
Did you
Canal
properly
Street
drink?
in
Did you properly
Manchester.
drink a
Yes,
party?
proper like, oh, I'm slaughtered. I mean, not you, where I end up showing my bum and my breasts and all that.
Well, you
but
didn't
I
have a
was
proper
drunk
night
for
out
me. But I have to say,
Where'd you go? Canal Street?
Canal Street.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I had the best night out, and I have to say, at about 4:30 in the morning, I thought, oh God, my feet are killing me, and I'm desperate for a cup of tea.
Oh, you see?
And I was the only one in this nightclub where they were all going mental dancing and all that, you know, and doing shots and all that. And the management got me a mug of tea. I was on the dance floor with me. That's why I lasted till 6. They should serve more tea.
You were teed up. Teed up.
I always do that, don't we? Wherever we're out, all of us, Colin and I can be seen with a pot of tea at the end of the night, and they're all comatose.
Yeah.
I had a lovely weekend because it was my Uncle Ray's, happy birthday, Uncle Ray, 80th birthday, and we had the most fantastic... You know those family meetings, you know,
Where
which you
people are all
never
the
do?
same age,
yeah.
Sherry,
And there was the little babies to the tiny tots to the the grandchildren and the da-da-da-da. And it was just fantastic to see everybody again, because, you know, it's always once a year, isn't it? And it was so lovely, and we danced, and my Uncle Ray danced till, I think it was 2:30 in the morning. He was fantastic. I mean, Mum and him jived, and we all did, it was just fun. I mean, my feet were killing me, don't your feet hurt? Anyway, but we had the most fantastic time, and it was so lovely. But Ollie, my grandson Ollie, fell in love. He met this little girl, and he held her hand, and we couldn't get them apart. And I've got a picture of him sitting there like this, totally in love with her, and this little girl was in love. And then she went, I'm going home. And he was going, oh, it's awful.
Hey, do you know what they have in
life.
nightclubs now, which I think is a brilliant idea for us nanas, is they have, like, vending machine where you get little slippers out.
Fairy feet, they're called. I've got them.
Put the money in, you get little slip... Oh,
No, do you know what? That's a brilliant idea.
Isn't it, though?
They're £5 or something like that. I've bought them, fairy feet.
Really?
Yeah.
fantastic idea.
You know what? Sometimes, though, by the end of the night, you are literally walking like a drunk because you can't walk. The balls ache, don't they?
Some of us are a drunk, not walking like one.
Nothing worse than achy balls at the end of a night. Now, yesterday morning, a 22-year-old British woman, Benita Norris, reached the summit of her own Mount Everest. Now, her achievement was made all the more remarkable because she'd never set foot on a mountain until last year. Speaking from the base camp, she said, I was 17 when I first told my stepdad I was going to climb Everest one day. His response was, don't be so stupid. No, cutting her down, eh? Now, that got us to thinking, does being told don't be so stupid spur us on to conquer our own personal Everests?
I think it does, because although I have major doubts about myself and I always think, oh, I won't be able to do this, the one thing that fires me up is somebody else telling me that I can't. And it happened a lot to me on Dancing on Ice when I was doing that. And just near the end, there was one routine we did, and my partner, when we went into training that day, he said, I want her to do this neck spin where literally my ankle's around his neck, I don't hold on, he doesn't hold on, and he spins. Well, of course, everyone fell about laughing. And, you know, the physiotherapist was going, oh, no, I've done enough with this girl, because my arm was strapped up, my ribs were strapped up, there's nothing else left. But it was really, all of a sudden, like, we're laughing, and then I thought, they're actually saying I can't do this. And it really angered me. And we did it, and I was really proud of myself. But initially, but it was the anger that got me to do that. It was somebody saying, no, you can't. You're not good enough to do that. And I thought, no, look at that.
There it is. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, can you believe that's you doing that?
Are you sure that's you doing that?
That is me doing that.
Look at you.
Look at him. It's
That
nothing the same.
That really is divide and conquer, isn't it?
To God.
Wow.
I bet when you got home, Ray was going, I bet you can't do that, Colleen Rowland.
I said, yeah, I can, just not with you.
Ever.
Again.
I suppose I have a little bit of that. I'm not hugely competitive. So obviously if somebody said to me, you know, you could never swing from the high trapeze, I wouldn't go out and do it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But one of the things that I am going to do is, because I've talked about Tim thinks he's the best driver in the world and that I'm the worst. And whenever I'm in the car, this is where the quote is like, keep it smooth, keep it smooth, keep it smooth. It's like, shut up, right? And years ago, he was doing a series called Commoner's Mug, and he had to drive the bin wagon, so he had to get his heavy goods vehicle licence. Yeah. Well, you'd think it was like having a PhD after his name, like Tim Healy, HGV, right? So he's always said to me, oh, yeah, you wouldn't do that if you were an HGV driver. Whoa, you know, like this. So I've booked in, and I'm going to do my heavy goods vehicle licence test, and I'm going to pass it just because he said that.
Good girl.
Yeah.
Really? My goodness.
You see me in between jobs. Yeah. Whistling at all the birds.
I tell you, every trucker in Britain's going to be scared to pull into the nearest lay-by now.
Well, I'm definitely going to pass it because you've just said that.
Do you know, I think I came up against a lot of that when I first started work in Fleet Street. It was a bit of a boys' club. Although I say that, all of the women, all of the people that kind of gave me opportunities and breaks at work were always women. But I came up against one guy in particular who was older than my dad, actually, who was, I don't know, I don't know what his problem was with me, but he literally blocked me every step of the way. And I think that, you know, and...
Because you were young and pretty and blonde.
But how is that a threat to him? I could never understand it. It's like, gosh, like, you know, you've got kids my age. Grow up. But it was really, really difficult
but did that
to work along.
spur you on?
Totally. I remember this guy one day came up to my desk and he said, did you write this? And held a story in front of me. And I said, yeah, I did, yeah. And I'd only just started, and he shredded it into small pieces and he threw it in my face. He said, I won't tell you what he actually said because you can't repeat it at this time of day. And I was determined that he would not stop me progressing with my chosen profession, which was to be a journalist, which, you know, gets a very bad name in this country, but I think fundamentally, if you want to use words to inform people, that's a great thing. And despite his best efforts, I did eventually leave, but to go and become an editor. And
good for
of
you.
of a magazine, and I thought, right, you know what, I'm here despite you and in spite of you because you haven't helped. Yeah. And it was a really difficult lesson to learn in life, actually. But I'm thankful I came up against him, actually, because he taught me a lot.
Yeah. Which is ended up here.
My
top
difficult
of the
lesson to learn was that I always wanted to be a singer. I always thought I was Judy Garland or Doris Day. and still to this day, if somebody asked me to audition for South Pacific, I would go and I would sing. Because the thing is, I do think, really, seriously, that I am a singer. So, like, I mean, I went for one audition and they said, have you got your music? And I went, what music? And they went, all right, then, well, what key? I went, which key? I haven't got a key on me. And they went, oh, never mind, what can you sing? I said, I feel pretty. So I said, I feel pretty, oh, so pretty. And I thought I'd done really well.
And I'm going to say that I sang with Sherry recently because we're doing this Do Something Kind of England
there you
song.
are.
And they said, oh, can you practice with Sherry? Honest to God, it was like 10 minutes next to Hilda Ogden.
Oh, bless you, Sherry.
Sherry, in my eyes, you could still be Dorothy.
OK, that's part one conquered.